Former President Donald Trump delivered a laundry list of his familiar election lies and other false claims, plus some new falsehoods on subjects ranging from abortion laws to his policy on dealing with drug cartels, in an interview that aired Sunday on Meet the Press. The show's new moderator, Kristen Welker, promptly corrected some of the false claims, others were aired unchallenged. Here's a fact check of an assortment of Trump's remarks. Infanticide. Trump, attacking Democrats on abortion policy, claimed, "You have some states that are allowed to kill the child after birth." He also said specifically, "You have New York State and other places that passed legislation where you're allowed to kill the baby after birth." A law New York approved in 2019 makes abortion illegal after 24 weeks with the exception of cases where the fetus is not viable or the abortion is necessary to protect the patient's life or health. The law does not legalize post-birth murder. Since its passage, it's been the subject of online misinformation falsely claiming it does. There are some cases in which parents decide to choose palliative care for babies who are born with deadly conditions that give them just minutes, hours, or days to live. That is simply not the same as killing the baby. Trump's comments about drug cartels. Welker said to Trump, "If elected, you say you would order the Defense Department to use special forces to inflict maximum damage on drug cartels." But Trump responded, "I didn't say that. No. People said I said that." He repeated, "I didn't say that. The media and the war in Ukraine." Trump claimed, "I will say this, something's going on, and it's not good for Ukraine. Because the news is no longer reporting about the war. The fake news. They don't report about the war anymore. You don't find much reporting. That means that Ukraine's losing. Okay. Very little reporting from NBC, your network. I see very little reporting from NBC, ABC, from CBS, from anyone about the war. Continues to do extensive daily reporting on the war on television and online." News wrote in its own fact check of this Trump claim, that is demonstrably false. In the last 2 weeks alone, News has published dozens of stories and broadcasts on all platforms about the Ukraine war. The fact check cited specific examples, then continued, News has had dozens of articles and videos on their websites, too. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Trump criticized President Joe Biden for releasing a large quantity of crude oil from the National Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try to keep prices down in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Trump claimed that this is a reserve, "I had a lot to do with filling up for the first time ever." Trump added later in the interview, he wanted to have low gas prices for an election. And now, we have nothing left. Facts first, Trump made 2 false claims here. First, contrary to his repeated assertions, it's not true that he filled up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The reserve actually contained fewer barrels of crude oil when he left office in early 2021 than when he took office in 2017. Second, while the amount of crude in the reserve is at a 40-year low, it's not even close to true that we have nothing left. At present, the reserve remains the world's largest even at its current level, with about 350.6 million barrels of crude as of the week ending September 8th. The fact that the amount of oil in the reserve fell during the Trump presidency is not all because of him. The law requires some mandatory sales from the reserve for budget reasons, and when Trump issued a 2020 directive to buy tens of millions more barrels and fill the reserve to its maximum capacity, Democrats in Congress blocked the required funding. Nonetheless, he didn't fill up the reserve as he claims.